am the repository for dead people's things. I have items from my parents and both sets of grandparents that hold such sentimental value to me, but they also clutter my home. I want to let go, but where's the best place to start? Is it with my own stuff or someone else's?
Okay. It's funny because we talked about this on the minimal episode. Where do I start with my stuff or someone else's? And I was like, who would just start throwing? I mean, it's much easier to throw away other people's things for sure. But she's talking about other people's sentimental items.
They're not, but she's also talking about how they're dead people, so they're not other people's things. They're your things.
Yeah, right.
And here's what I'll tell you. You don't want to start with the difficult things because you don't have any momentum right now. And letting go, you want the little small victories up front, right? And so I did it all wrong. When I first stumbled into simplifying, it wasn't my stuff. It was when my mom passed away.
Right.
And I was confronted with an entire house full of stuff. We were just moving last weekend and Ella was like, it took the movers 3 whole hours. And I said, Ella, when I dealt with just my mom's stuff, it took me 12 whole days.
Yeah.
And part of that was, and she was, well, why did it take so long? Well, because she had so much stuff. And Ella, all she knows is, the life she's had. She's like, why would people have so much stuff? And because having so much stuff, having a superabundance, an overabundance is excess. Excess is not a default state. Excess is the place in which we suffer. Excess pain, excess cell growth causes cancer, right? Excess inflammation. These things are all, well, they're harmful to us. But excess stuff causes a lot of pain in our lives as well. And so it's about starting with the simple things. That's why we invented the 30-day minimalism game. It's like, just get rid of one thing on day 1. And on second day, 2 things. You just got to start somewhere. And I wouldn't start with the sentimental items. You can eventually get to the sentimental items, but how do you let go of them? Well, there's a few things you need to realize here, Pamela. These things are not other people's things. They are now your things.
Amen.
It is now your responsibility. Now, you don't have to get rid of any of them. You're at a point, though, where you have too many of these things. It's not that they all create clutter. It's too many things create clutter. And so, yes, you have too many things from dead people. And holding on to all of them is going to water down the sentimental value of those things. By keeping just a handful of my mom's items, I get far more value from those things than if I were to water them down with 300,000 excess items. And so the question that I ask myself is, what's going to add value to my life? What's going to serve a purpose or bring me joy? Maybe it's decorative, and so there's some sort of aesthetic joy that you get from it. Or maybe it's something I can actually use, and that thing still triggers the memories. Everything else I took photos of and eventually let go of them because I realized that I couldn't commingle mom's stuff with my stuff. It was just going to get in the way. I was just going to store it in a mausoleum of stuff. And so I decided to let go of the things that were dead to me so I could hold on to the things that would serve a purpose. Now, if they stop serving a purpose, I have no problem with letting go of those things because the meaning, the value, the sentimentality is not in the thing. Ryan, if I gave you my mom's hat box and said, here, hold on to this, it has a lot of sentimental value. The only appropriate response to that is to you. It has sentimental value to you, but it doesn't have inherent sentimental value.
Right.
And so there's what's the Thomas Sowell quote podcast, Sean? About trade-offs?
Oh, they're in life,
yes,
there are no solutions, only trade-offs.
Right. And what we're talking about here is a trade-off, right? Because yes, they have sentimental value to you, but they also clutter your home. And so you're willing right now to trade clutter, the chaos. You're willing to accept some of the chaos because you get some sort of value from them. What I would posit is perhaps you may get more value from having fewer sentimental items, and simultaneously, you'll be allowed, giving yourself permission, to let go of the clutter.
Yeah. I mean, really what you're talking about is that question we tell people to ask all the time is, how might your life be better with less? And Pamela, yes, it would be better because you wouldn't have as much clutter. You would have a little space freed up, not just physically, but also in your mind. Yeah. And there's not an easy decision here. But getting to the why behind, like, that's what's going to help her the path will unfold as soon as she gets clear on the why. The what will appear.
Yes, indeed. And that's important. And if you're looking for a how-to, once you understand the why, check out the 30-day minimalism game, theminimalists.com/game. You can download the free calendar there, and you can make decluttering a bit more fun, because right now it's burdensome. And as soon as something is burdensome, you just want to hide from it. The grief, the lamenting, the trauma that is associated with these things. By working through it, by letting go, you're also letting go of the trauma. You're going to feel more grief in the meantime, but suppressing that grief is only going to lead to more trauma later on. So make it a little more fun. Partner up with a friend, a family member. Try the 30-day minimalism game, theminimalists.com/game. It's free to play. Share your pictures of your letting go using the Mins Game hashtag MINS game, Mins Game hashtag. Did you enjoy this standalone Patreon highlight? If so, you can listen to full episodes of the Minimalist Private Podcast, available exclusively on Patreon. Visit patreon.com/theminimalists or click the link in the description. Your support keeps our podcast and YouTube channel 100% advertisement free.